Welcome back to Satisfactory. I think we're going to take one day to make sure we get at least one set of facade done. But you know what? Now that I've said that out loud, I do have one other thing I want to do. We don't have a way to pick up completed materials. Let's see if there's a easy way to do that. The problem is we're not really making that many. I could split one and have a little output right here. Of course, then I'd probably put a ramp here or stairs. So I'd want it to be over here. Our convenient one whole wall. Slap a nice industrial storage container in here. And then we break this and put a splitter directly on it. That'll at least leave us some. And then we'll do our standard. Perfect. If we ever get in a situation where we absolutely need a handful, we'll have a supply ready to go. And then over here, we'll use this one as our uploader. Of course, this is an unreliable splitter, so we might not ever have any there, but I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, deco. I realized when I logged in that these buildings are actually rotated, so they're not going to be exactly twin. I think what I'm going to do is put in one wall and then build it 4 times. You know, it's so annoying that it's so close. What we'll have to do is put one next to it, and then it allows us to slide it more gradients if we're snap to that one. Let's see, where is this? There. That's unbelievable. Actually, I better make sure it'll actually let me build this out here. It might not. then I need to double check 30. If I delete this, it should be 20 quartz. Okay, good. Sometimes when those things are on the edge, they're not actually in the blueprint, which is something you don't want to find out after the fact. Come on. Okay, what color am I going to go for? There's a little bit of cyan inside. I could go more cyan. I could do a mixture of cyan and fix it orange. I think I'm going to just go cyan. Nah, we'll go fix it orange with this, I think. Feels very deserty. If I overlap these, it'll limit the line breaks. Obviously, there'll be some where the blueprint overlaps, but we're not going to try to get rid of that. Why won't you... Oh boy. Gonna have to do the same thing. Snap it to the thing that gives me a little more control. That last one just never works out. This is going to be expensive. How much quartz crystal are we spending? $230 per click. Times 4. And I'm burning down a good chunk of quartz crystal just making the blueprint. Come on. Oh, you know what? I probably should have checked if this is the right height. Oh, they added a new window type. This triple frame window is new. Maybe it shouldn't directly connect to that, though. This is the problem with not planning these designs out before you start the video. I think one contiguous light bar is the general effect I'm going for. It will have that slight bevel, but I think that's okay. Maybe this is a nudge situation. Actually, that looks pretty cool. Maybe I could go with the hex. Honeycomb? Let's try honeycomb. And then we'll try nudging again. The right height at least. Then I'm thinking just a plain old bar like this. Probably needs to be customized. I'm thinking black. Of course, the white does give it more reflectivity. Then I wonder, can I get this billboard? Uh-oh. That's taller than two of these. Oh, nope. Hold on. That's because it's not fully flat. Now let's see if it's a little bit better. And then I think in order to cover this little gap, we'll just put another one of these in. We're just going to have to find the perfect placement. Can I move this whole thing up and then nudge it? I feel like half a nudge is what I'm looking for. And the other side of this will break this corner, so I don't have to worry about designing this corner, which is a good thing because I left myself some space there. And then let's I think this probably should be cyan. We're doing some basic facade work here. Yeah, I was gonna play with the idea of maybe doing a moving background in this, but I don't think so. Now I'm thinking these beams need to be black. And we're going to call this the heavy module facade. Oh, hold on. Select icon. Ooh, that was close. The key to this is getting the first one in the right place. How much room did I leave myself on this? Was it half a foundation? Uh-oh. That last thing that I added, this little buffer storage, that might have to go. But where does this go? All right, hold on. Yeah, that's right on the edge. Of course, that means that this should probably be right on the edge as well. We'll just move these over here so we don't accidentally overflow our inventory. Oh, if I delete this blueprint, what do we have? So this corner is on the outer edge of this center marker. And this corner is on the inner edge of this center marker. Let's see if I can... Outer, inner. Okay. You know, I'm playing Star Rupture and their keyboard shortcuts are just a little annoyingly different. Alright, let's see if we can nudge this. That's theoretically where this should go. I could try one out like this, but there's really very little justification for that. If I were going to do that, I'd have to go one this way as well. Yeah, I should probably just overlap it. This wall will just have to be part of the facade. Oh wait, one of these is right and one of them is wrong. Because it'll be right on the next click. I think if I'm going to go with that, I'm going to put this one right in the center. And then presume that this one goes right in the center as well. That might mean we need to put a little something on here. Let's click it into reality. We're instantly out of quartz crystal. Oh no, this guy's poking through a little bit. I might be okay with it not having could drop these actually. And that's a problem because I put it inside. I can move this out. I probably should. We'll put this, start it all the way in the corner here, and go back this way. It's definitely simpler. Pillar light bar. What is this? It's a pillar with a light bar. Sometimes I name things exactly what they are. I think let me put one more of these together, and then we'll do one big bar on the corner, two in the center, and then this one will overlap this one. So it'll be bar, light bar, light bar, bar, light bar. And then we'll make the inside light bars cyan color to go with the cyan internal colors that we've got going on over there. This is just going to take a second to build because it's going to be a little taller. I think I did use this one for this. I think on this one I can start at the top and then fill it in. And then just so the color pops, let's make sure that we use the black. Yeah, for sure. And then we'll make these cyan. You know, sometimes you just have to go with the flow, as it were. We'll just call this the light pole cyan. I'm seeming kind of desperate to spin quartz crystal today. Gonna have to put this in here and then nudge it. Half a nudge. Full nudge, half a nudge. That's where I want it to be. Escape. Let me save this. Do I have to build this in place for it to work? I mean, obviously it'll let you build this. It'll let you build, it'll let me build it. But I think I'm gonna have to build it in place for it to count. That light pole's not perfect, by the way. It's still not perfect. There we go. I was hoping to build this once and then slap it in here 2 times, but there's an ever so slight difference. I'm not going to call it a bug. I'm going to say it's a difference in allowability. Whereas when you build this, it accepts it. But if I try to put that blueprint right there in that exact same spot, it claims it's overlapping. Now I'm worried that it won't even let me put the signage on it. You know what? I'm making this harder than it needs to be by a wide margin. Let me clear all of this. Yeah, I'm making this way harder than it needs to be. Blueprints. Heavy module facade. Let's put this back in, but let's just put it off the edge. I mean, if building on the edge is the problem, then don't build on the edge. And then blueprint, light pole cyan. We're 20 quartz crystals short. I guess I could take the quartz crystal from this version. I'm tempted to put a wall in the center of this. I'm probably about to go too far. Do you think that little bit is going to be too much for it to stack correctly? Is it going to try to stack on this part, or is it going to try to stack on this part? That snap grid is weird. Let me try it. Oh. Oh, in order to get that to work, it has to snap on this part more or less incorrectly. I'm kind of into this. I like the likelihood of that snapping together correctly better. If it doesn't, we'd have to make some choices. I don't want to make choices right now, though I'm making tons of choices. Let's see here. We'll just put this on here. Wait, did I save the blueprint? It's saved as new. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Heavy facade. Different name than the last one, but... Decorating in this game is it's a whole thing. Ooh, man, we are short on quartz crystal, no doubt. Let's assume for a moment that this is going to work out. We're gonna have to take a trip over to the quartz crystal factory. It's almost guaranteed that there's enough steel beam. Of course, I say that, and there's absolutely no steel beam on the line. Oh, we're running short on both. The steel beams and the encased beams. The only thing we really have a lot of are the steel pipes. $9,000 quartz crystal. It's a lot. That little quartz crystal and silica factory there always finds a way to be useful. Somehow we got there in one shot, but it doesn't look like we're going to get back in one shot. Well, maybe. Well, I wanted a partial, but maybe a little more juice than that. Yeah, perfect. I think what I'll do is I'll confirm that this is gonna more or less work, and then I'll call it. Let's see here. The danger of using half foundations, for sure. So then the question is, will these snap to this? The answer appears to be yes. just because we want to spin. You know, it's the next video, right? I mined all the quartz crystal in Satisfactory so I could put my design aesthetic to the test. Oh, interesting problem. And not a good interesting. I might have to give up that bevel. I mean, part of me says it'd be kind of cool if it just was lit like that. But I think we both know we've got to go for the whole thing. I am going to refuse to accept that it's going to be off by that much. And that's going to be our deal breaker. Maybe instead of a 4-meter sign, use a smaller sign. Or maybe I use that smaller sign after the fact. Oh, yep, we'll slide it in just like this. If I can snap it to the new sign that I'm going to delete here. Okay, wait, let's get this one out of the way now. And now we can slide it with a few more levels of detail. Right here. There's going to be a tiny triangle missing there. I'm tempted to not put that in. We'll leave the other side as the light source for the internals. Save it. Go and go. Actually, if I copy this, will it copy the new one or the old one? Curious now. I would expect that it would copy the new one, and I would be right. What did we run out of? Plain plates. Of all things, plain plates. Yeah, look at the shopping list for this. 8,000 quartz crystal, and that's not even guaranteed to be one side of this. That's the part that's killing me. I think what I need to do is confirm that this other edge is going to work as I'm anticipating. I guess this edge always goes right in the center. Right, in the same way this one's right in the center of the block. I would guess this one needs to be right in the center of the block. Oh. Technically, if I wanted this to be the same as this one. Yeah, because this is actually overlapping the vertical bar. This would go here. I'm not sure about the honeycomb now. I think I like this part clear. I might be okay with the honeycomb on this side, though. I might go... every other one. That makes it look like there's nothing there, though. Holy moly, that's really clear. That's probably too clear, but I like the fact that it doesn't obscure the pillar as much. I don't think I'm gonna like any of these other ones. I think we'll go with that. Only problem being, of course, now you gotta go back and change the blueprint. And I don't know if I've got enough stuff in my inventory to actually change the blueprint. I think I'm actually liking this. I'm gonna go with it. If we can get one more copy loaded. Ironically, I think we're out of iron plate. Let me just delete one of these so I can load it. Uh-oh. Those windows actually aren't part of it. That's good stuff. I see you trying to get me to delete things I don't want to delete. Control click to replace a window or a wall already in place. So that's a build and a half all by itself. So we're gonna need an absolutely crazy amount of quartz crystal and other resources to get this thing fully built. And it's not even giving me, I mean, that's only one side. There's a couple of Z fighting issues, but I'm gonna have to be willing to ignore those. I like the repeatability of this. Let's call it. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. Didn't even seem like an hour to me. I mean, you might think differently, but it did not seem like an hour to me. It was pretty fun, actually, putting together a bit of a facade, only to find out that, in fact, facade work is as expensive as actual factory work. But we'll see you next time.